Hello and welcome, this is Eric from AG Racing Central. This is the video series where I tackle the Fury campaign in WipeOut Omega Collection on Elite, the hardest difficulty. We are now on episode 4 out of 8 on the grid called Turbulence that did have some occasional difficulty spikes. Let's get started. I had 8 events to tackle, most of them in Flash speed class. I started off with an Eliminator event on Modesto Heights. My last video about the Piranha ship actually made me want to play it some more, especially in Eliminator where shield strength is much more important than handling. Making the final blow on an opposing ship gives you extra points, and early in the race I got 2 Quakes that scored me multiple kills with very little effort, giving me a huge buffer to the team in second place.
Contender eliminated.
The randomness of which weapons you pick up is part of the nature of Eliminator. Looking behind you to place bombs is a viable tactic, but so is placing them sporadically too, and that is what secured me the win for this first event.
Session complete. Gold medal awarded.
And I got enough loyalty points with Piranha to unlock a sweet new livery. Next up I took up a zone battle on Modesto. In this event type you accumulate energy that you use to increase your zone level and speed or put up a damaging barrier behind you. I did struggle a bit with zone battles in the previous episode, but if you get an early lead, you avoid barriers and can max out your energy for a big speed increase, and everything can snowball to an even bigger lead. This race went very smoothly, and I unlocked yet another snazzy livery. I felt like I was on a roll, so I continued with another zone battle on Corridon 12. It went about exactly the same. It's clear that the start is very important in zone battle events. It can also be a good tactic to spend your accumulated energy early, as it also increases your speed. Being ahead of other races in a normal single race always makes you a target for offensive weapons like missiles and rockets, but in zone battle, the only thing to worry about is the barriers that your opponents leave behind them. I had to zigzag my way through a couple of those, but this event was also a relatively easy gold medal.
Session complete.
For the next single race on Tech the Raw, I picked a balanced EGX team. Single races are very dependent on how much you get hit, especially in the beginning, as it's easy to get stuck in a never-ending trade of weapon hits with a pack that trails behind the leading ships. That unbothered boosts ahead of everyone else and drop mines and bombs to their heart's content. This didn't happen to me this time though, as it was more or less a smooth sail up into first place. There is a certain spot on Tectera where it's possible to do a barrel roll even in Flash speed class, but it does require that you pitch up as you fly over the bump, and managing to do this will really help you in both time trials and single races. Speaking of time trials, the next event was a speed lap on Modesto Heights, and for this race I decided to play with a speedy Tigron ship.
Tigron.
Wait, what?
Tigron.
Really? That's how you say it? Well, okay then. On both speed laps and time trials, it's vital to find the perfect spot to use the turbo that you get each lap. Preferably, this will be on a place where you get some air, which in turn allows you to do a barrel roll, but as I am not a seasoned speedrunner myself, I actually had some trouble finding a good spot to do this on. This section at the end gave you too much air, which isn't good either as it slows you down, and pitching down didn't help much either. Using the turbo just before the finish line can also be a good idea, but this particular track has a sharp left turn just after the lap begins. My first attempt ended up being 12/100ths of a second too slow for a gold medal, but I did of course not give up and chose Tigron for a second attempt.
Tigron.
Yeah, okay. This time I finally nailed the beginning, hit almost all speed pads and reached the goal with a little more than half a second to spare.
Gold medal awarded.
A Detonator event on Amphitheon was up next. In Detonator you fly around the zone-style version of the track and shoot all the orbs that you can. The speed constantly increases and you lose shield energy by bumping into walls and orbs. The EMP that gets charged by running over pads is very useful for saving you in the last second when you run out of ammo in a bad spot. The goal is to survive long enough to reach the target score, and even though I am sure these events will get tougher, the gold medals have so far been no problem as long as you use the EMP and manual reloads wisely.
Gold medal awarded.
3 events left, and next up was an Eliminator on Tech the Raw. Everything started off a bit slow, but I did learn that leech streams don't give you a lot of points, and missiles can actually be disrupted by mines. A rocket elimination started things off a bit, and after that I racked up some more eliminations with missiles and also a plasma hit.
Contender eliminated.
Eventually the gold medal was mine, along with a fancy new livery for Kyrex. Next up was a zone event on Modesto. After playing the 24/8 campaign and its insanely hard zone events, these races scare me a lot. Fortunately, the HD and Fury zone races are much easier for some reason. In this one I got the gold medal and barely even touched the walls.
Gold medal awarded.
And finally we had a single race on Tallness Junction. I tried to go take a 45 for this race as a high thrust can be important for getting back up to top speed after being hit by weapons. I only managed to reach 3rd place however and went back to my tried and true favorite team, Harimau. This race was intense with things happening constantly. There was a struggle between the leading ships up until the very end, and as I just got the 1st place very close to the finish line, thinking that this was the most intense gold medal ever, this happened. My 3rd attempt did give me a gold medal, but it was a lot less exciting. Some decent turbo activations got me to 1st place quite early, and after that it was just about keeping the position until the finish line. I think all these attempts are a testament to the amount of randomness that is always a factor in single races, especially when it comes to what weapons you are lucky or unlucky enough to pick up. Nevertheless, the final gold medal was mine, and we are halfway through the Fury campaign with gold medals in all events. To watch the entire playlist in this video series, click on the video appearing on screen right now. Thank you for watching. I am Eric from AD Racing Central, and I'll see you in the next video.